Sometimes you may want to check for more than just true or false on a sensor. For example, we've learned previously that the color sensor is designed to detect 7 different colors. Let's start off by trying to write a program that says green if the sensor is pointing at the green Lego brick and says, uh-oh, otherwise. My color sensor is already plugged into port 3 of my robot, so let's go. All right, so I have a new program, and let's go to the flow control tab and grab a new switch block, and then I'm going to pan a little bit so I can see. Go back into select tool. Okay, the switch is defaulting to a button press, and notice that right now the switch block has a check up here for yes and an X for no, but if we switch to the color sensor, where's the color sensor? There we go. And we say, let's measure color. All of a sudden these things change because there's not really a yes or a no for color, right? The colors have to do with actually what color you see. So if we look up here, there's really the 7 different Lego colors that the system can detect, plus no color, which really means unknown, if you remember. Let's pick, I don't know, let's pick green for that top. And the bottom one seems to be set to unknown. We'll leave that for now. And let's see, on the top, if it's green, why don't we put a sound block? Go back to the action tab, and I'll grab a sound block, and I'll put that in here. And let's just get a sound file. Let's use the colors, and we'll say green. And I don't know, if we don't have green, maybe we can go to, is it communications? Expressions, maybe it's expressions. There we go. Uh-oh. Let's say uh-oh. So we'll say green if we go through the top path, and we'll say uh-oh if we go through the bottom path. Okay, let's see what happens if we run this program. Okay, so I've got this little Lego creation that has lots of different colors on it for us to test. Let's give it a shot. I'm going to hold this in front of the green. There's green. Let's hold it in front of the green and let me run the program. Green. Sounds good. Let's hold it in front of the red now. Green. Uh-oh, did you hear that? It said green. Let's try the yellow. Huh, not so good. Let's try the blue. Green. Okay, this is not looking good. Let's see what's going on. Okay, so why don't we take a look at the port view tab and see what's going on here. So if I look at these things, green should give me a reading of 3. So let's see. Right now this is detecting color, so let's see what happens if I point this at the green. Yeah, I don't know if you can see that in the bottom corner of my screen. It looks like it's getting a 3. Let's try it on the red. When I hold it on the red, it's getting 5. Let's just check. Yeah, red is 5. It seems to be doing pretty well. Let's just try the other 2 colors. It is now saying 2 when I hold it on the blue, and it's saying 4 on the yellow. Let's just check. And sure enough, 2 is blue and 4 is yellow. So the sensor is sensing things correctly. Let's see what's going on. So the problem isn't with our sensor. It must be in the way we use the switch. Let's look at that again. The problem turns out to be this little black dot right here. And you can see when I hover over it, it has the words default case that appear. We'd probably be better off if Lego had called the default case all other cases. The path that has the default case selected will will be followed every time you don't match the other case. So for this switch block, we'll always take the top path unless the color sensed is unknown, or in Lego terms, that means no color. If we do sense no color, then we would have taken the lower path. So in this case, we want this other case to be the default case. So I clicked in there. So now if it sees green, it will say green, and all the other cases will say uh-oh. Let's download this and see how it goes. Okay, let's try it now. We'll start by pointing it at the red.
Uh-oh.
That's good. Let's try the green.
Green.
Sounds good. Try yellow.
Uh-oh.
And let's try the blue.
Uh-oh.
Great. Note that it really doesn't matter what color we choose for the default case. We could put red in here or blue or anything else as long as we don't pick green. This program will still work. The only thing we can't put in here is green, because if we put green in here and we try to download, we get an error. But anything else is fine. Right now we've got green and everything else. Let's make this a little more interesting. My kids' favorite colors are blue, red, and green. So let's change this so we say a color name if we see any of those three colors, and uh-oh otherwise. So it's actually pretty easy. There's a tiny little plus sign in here you may not have noticed before. But if I click on that little plus sign, that lets us add a case. All right, let me zoom out a little bit so that you can see what's going on here. So if it's green, we'll say green. If it's blue, well, right now that's the default case. We'll fix that in a minute. Why don't we make that one anything else? Is the default case. It says uh-oh. Down here, if it's blue, let's have a sound block. And let's have it say
Blue.
Blue. And again, I wanted to do green, blue, and red. So let's click on that plus sign again. We'll add one more case. I'm going to zoom out again just so you can see what's going on. And maybe I'll pan just a little bit so you can see. And now you can see that maybe that tabbed view would help us, but I'm not sure. If I click on the tabbed view, it's shorter, but you can't really see what's going on. Let's go back to the flat view. I like that better. So green goes up there. We have our default case here with the dot set. We'll say uh-oh. Blue says blue, and I wanted to do one for red. So there's the red, and if we see a red color, we will say
Red.
red. Great. Okay, let's download this. Okay, so let's try it out. First, I'm going to try it out on the blue.
Blue.
Cool. We'll try it on the yellow, which I hope will give me the uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Let's try it now on green.
Green.
Cool. And let's try it on red.
Red.
And maybe I'll just try it on this black desk and see what we get.
Uh-oh.
Or on the robot.
Uh-oh.
Works great.